when they're on a full run. But Balogun, he's so smart to make that run across the defender. And watch him just slow down just for a second, just to create that body.
The United States picked up a big 2-0 win over Japan in a friendly at Lower.com Field in Columbus, Ohio, on Tuesday night, a result that gives Mauricio Pochettino's side some good news to end the September international window. Alejandro Zendejas and Folarin Balogun provided the goals and Christian Pulisic the spark for a U.S. side coming off a disappointing 2-0 loss to South Korea on Saturday. The win against a largely second-choice Japan side ended a 7-game winless run for the U.S. Zendejas opened the scoring on the 30-minute mark with a brilliant
back home in Columbus where he
U.S., firing home from the center of the area on a first-time volley from a Max Arfsten cross. At the other end of the field, U.S. keeper Matthew Freese came up big on several occasions to keep the Americans in the lead, with none bigger than his reflex save on Junya Ito's close-range effort shortly before the half. Zendejas' goal, his second in 13 appearances for the U.S., ended his 8-game drought for club and country. Pulisic teed up Balogun for the USMNT's second goal, rolling a perfectly weighted through ball behind the Japanese defense for the Monaco striker to run onto and finish from a tight angle. Pochettino made 5 changes from the 11 that started against South Korea, and the team looked more dynamic and creative throughout the match thanks in large part to the play of Zendejas. Balogun and Pulisic, central defender Chris Richards, right back Alex Freeman, midfielder Christian Roldan, Zendejas and forward Balogun joined the starting lineup in place of Sergino Dest, Diego Luna, Sebastian Berhalter, Tim Weah and Josh Sargent. Richards, Tim Ream and Tristan Blackman started as central defenders in a 5-man backline, a formation coach Pochettino switched to in the second half Saturday. Adams and Roldan had not started together since 2018 and Roldan made his first start in 26 months. The U.S. will regroup in October for 2 more friendlies, against Ecuador and Australia, as it continues to prepare to co-host next summer's World Cup with Mexico and Canada. The United States men's national team secured a 2-0 victory against Japan in an international friendly match on Tuesday, September 9, 2025, at Lower.com Field in Columbus. Alejandro Zendejas and Folarin Balogun scored for the U.S. team, ending the Americans' 7-game winless streak against top 25 opponents. The 15th-ranked U.S. team achieved this victory after a 2-0 loss to South Korea on Saturday, continuing their preparations for the upcoming World Cup through a series of 8 friendlies. Japan, ranked 17th, fielded a heavily rotated team for the encounter. Timely goals break USMNT's drought. Alejandro Zendejas opened the scoring in the 30th minute. He volleyed a long cross from left-back Max Arfsten, striking the ball with his left foot from near the penalty spot. This marked his second goal in 13 international appearances. Folarin Balogun then extended the lead in the 64th minute after Christian Pulisic provided a through pass. Balogun outmaneuvered goalkeeper Keisuke Osako with an angled shot, guiding the ball inside the far post. This was Balogun's 6th international goal. Before this match, the 15th-ranked U.S. team had failed to defeat a top 25 side since March 2024, when they beat Mexico in the CONCACAF Nations League final. A run which included 5 consecutive defeats. The Americans dominated the contest, recording a 19-11 advantage in shots. A sellout crowd of 20,192 watched the match, marking the team's 6th 2-0 victory at Lower.com Field in Columbus, USA. Japan makes squad lineup changes. The 17th-ranked Japan squad utilized what they termed an essentially B team, changing all 11 starters from their 0-0 draw against Mexico on Saturday. 8 of their starting players had 10 or fewer international appearances. Notably, no players who started Japan's March match against Bahrain, where the Samurai Blue clinched their 8th consecutive World Cup berth, were in the initial lineup, although some regular players entered the game in the 62nd minute. The U.S. national team also saw significant changes to its starting 11. Chris Richards, Alex Freeman, Christian Roldan, Alejandro Zendejas, and Folarin Balogun entered the lineup, replacing Sergino Dest, Diego Luna, Sebastian Berhalter, Tim Weah, and Josh Sargent, respectively. Coach Mauricio Pochettino deployed a 3-man back line featuring Richards, Tim Ream, and Tristan Blackman, with Arfston and Freeman operating as wingbacks. Pochettino switched to this formation during the second half of Saturday's match. Adams and Christian Roldan had not started alongside each other since 2018, and this marked Roldan's first start in 26 months. Late in the game, Japan's Koki Ogawa hit the crossbar in the 70th minute, as did the Americans' Jack McGlynn in the 83rd.